So I have a popular video on YouTube of how you can put photos inside text, a shape, or a compound shape in Illustrator. And in this video, I show you how you can insert a photo inside the border or outline or stroke of your text or shape so that you can insert a photo in the outline or border of an object or text in Illustrator. Hello, creative! It's your graphics girl of graphicsgrrrl.com. That's graphics with PH and S, girl with no I and 3 R's. And I'm here to help you design your brand. But first, how would you like a free cheat sheet? I thought so. Head over to graphicsgrrrl.com to get your free Illustrator cheat sheet that will show you all the shortcuts in the program. Just like I showed you in my previous video, the first step is to get a photo to insert inside your text. So you'll want to place that image inside your Illustrator file from wherever you have it saved on your local. So I'll come to File, Place. So I'll come to where I've saved my images from my favorite go-to stock art site, ThinkStock. Be sure to check out my link below to get a deal. Here, you could always choose to link that image so your file size is lower, or in this case, I'm just going to embed. Another rule of thumb to consider is if you're creating a project that will be printed, you'll want to go into Photoshop and revise these images to be CMYK and most likely TIFF file format. So when I go ahead and place that image, it's inserted into my Illustrator file. Here, I've just created text, bringing that to the front now with Command or Control Shift, right bracket. I just created the letter T with my text tool. So with that text in place and my image inserted, I want to make sure that the image is behind your shape or your copy. So here, this T that I've set, I brought it to the front with Command or Control Shift, right bracket, or you could select your photo and send that to the back with Command or Control Shift, left bracket. So now that the photo is behind the text, I then select both. To do that, you can kind of drag over both, or you can click on the one, Shift, click the other to select both. So with both of them selected, all I do is Command or Control 7 to create a mask, or Object, Clipping Mask, Make. So now that we have a clipping mask, that's how you can put your photo inside the text. But in this video, I want to show you how you can also put a photo inside the outline or stroke of your text. So to do that, you basically just need to make the stroke of your text be its own shape. So here, my text is still editable, meaning I could select that text and change that letter, because I have not created outlines from that text. In order to create this effect with a stroke, you may need to convert that stroke to a path first. So here's how you do that. So you could convert your stroke or outline to a path and send that behind your text because, as I mentioned, this text here is still editable, meaning I could select that text and change that letter, because I have not created outlines from that text. And that's not only so that you could change the letter to be something else, but it also includes adding a stroke to that letter. So if I created a stroke or white outline around this letter, here you can see it there, it's fairly small. I could come to my stroke panel and increase that point size to be something where you would notably see it, like 10 point. This is still able to be edited as well, but we can't insert a photo into this stroke or border because this object already has a mask. So you would need to create a separate shape with its own mask. And the other key thing to note with regard to creating text that has outlines, or strokes as they're called, is that if you create the stroke to be on the actual letter, it will start to eat into the letters and make it difficult to see the actual copy. So a good rule of thumb when creating a stylized stroke text effect is to make that shape a secondary shape that's behind the actual text. Here's what I mean. So if I go ahead and type out the word border, here I'll go ahead and make it white so you can see it. If I wanted to give this text a stroke where it looks like it's outlined, here I'll do it in bright pink so you can see it, and I'll give it a significant thickness. And in fact, if I use my stroke panel to change the cap and corner of that to round it out and have different effects, I can do that here in my stroke panel. You can see as I increase the thickness of these letters, it's eating into the copy, making it difficult to understand or read this. So what I would do is I would copy this, Command or Control C, and then I'd place it right in front with Command or Control F. And in this one, I would remove the stroke. See? So now you can have that cool, thick, outlined stroke look that doesn't eat into the actual letter shape so that you can read the copy. So same thing here. I would want to make this shape with the stroke be a copy that is behind the text, and in doing so I could make that outline or stroke have its own mask. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and from this remove the stroke down here in my panel, and I'm going to copy it and paste it directly in back. Okay, so I'm going to copy this letter, Command or Control C, and then I'm going to go ahead and lock it down, Command or Control 2, or Object Lock, and then paste it in back, Command or Control B, as in boy. I'm going to release this mask here by coming to Object, Clipping Mask, Release. Right? I'm going to click off to deselect in order to select just the photo and delete. So hard to see, but this is just the letter. If I brought it to the front with Command or Control Shift right bracket, you would see it is just the letter and not the photo at this point. If I come up here to my stroke, I can give it a color, and it actually doesn't matter what color it is. I'll make it hot pink so we can see it, and I'll put a crazy thickness of the stroke on it, like 10 point. If I want to get really crazy, I could go ahead and make it 20 point. It doesn't matter because this thickness that eats into the integrity of the letter won't be seen because we're going to put it behind the actual shape. And so it's this, the stroke or border that we're going to have as our mask. So once again, to create a mask with a photo, we need to go get that photo. So you'll come to File, Place, and here I'm just going to navigate to this picture of a pool that I've downloaded from ThinkStock. Okay, now do you remember which needs to be on top, the photo or the thing that's being masked? You guessed correctly. The thing being masked. And here, in this case, it's that stroke or the letter or the shape, right? The thing that is getting the mask goes in front of the actual photo getting inserted into that shape, okay? So, next step, you select both the photo and that shape. You can kind of drag over both. No worries that we're not going to get that original T with the desert inside because we locked that down. So you could select the picture and then your stroke with Shift or just drag over both. Then it's Command or Control 7. Aha! But you see, it once again thought that you wanted to put it inside the shape of the letter. So when dealing with text, you have to first create outlines of your text in order to outline the stroke. So when you do this just from a shape, as I'll show you in a little bit, you won't need to do this step. But if you are creating text that has a border on it or stroke, you then first have to outline your text. So you do that with Command or Control Shift O for outline or type Create Outlines. Now it treats both the stroke and the fill as separate objects. No longer is this text editable. I can't make this letter M, for example. But I could go ahead, if I wanted to, and select the individual shapes, meaning if I took my white or direct select arrow and clicked on the inside of the letter, I could delete it. These two are in fact separate entities. You can see here at the bottom of your toolbar that it does still register as a stroke. So we need to convert that stroke or path into an outline. So you'll come to Object, Path, Outline, Stroke. Now, this is its own shape. How do I know? Take a look. At the bottom of my toolbar, it now has the hot pink as being the fill color and no longer the stroke. Now, with both the photo and your shape selected, you can create that mask. See? Now I can move that shape into place and either have it be on top, which is eating into the shape just a little bit, or I can send it to back so that I have a little bit more of the original text visible. So let's go through this one more time on a shape. In this example of a kidney-shaped pool, you can see that I had a very thick stroke around this object that I then filled with an image of the desert or dry sand. So let's run through how you would do that. We're going to start with a basic shape. In this case, I'll go ahead and just make a circle. And you might notice it actually doesn't matter what color the shape or your text originally is when you go to place your photo. Because when you create your mask, it takes away the fill color of that shape. Now remember, the shape or whatever you're filling is the object that needs to be on top. So to bring it to front, you're going to Command or Control Shift right bracket. Then with your photo in back, you'll select both the photo and your shape and Command or Control 7 to make that mask. So a good rule of thumb, I'll Command or Control Z that, is to make a copy of your shape before you make your mask. So here, I'll hit Command or Control C to copy that, then shift click my photo, Command or Control 7 to make my mask. So when I paste it right in front, Command or Control F, I have the identical shape in the identical position. Next, I'm going to create a stroke with any color that I like, because again, it doesn't matter, but a thickness that you can see. It actually doesn't matter if I have no fill on this object. So I'll go ahead right here at the top and take off the fill, but keep my stroke. Next, because this is not text, I don't need to create outlines. In fact, it's grayed out because it's not text, and I can move directly to Object, Path, Outline, my stroke. Now that my stroke is in fact a fill, it's an object that can be filled with a photo. So next, it's File, Place, go get that photo, place it in my file. The only rule of thumb is the shape needs to be on top, and when you shift click both, Command or Control 7, you fill it with that image. But you see here, I can just position my image so that it's exactly as I'd like it to appear. I could make this just a normal fill color and just have the outline filled with a photo. It's kind of overkill to have both the fill and the stroke filled with an image. I just wanted to reinforce how to make a mask on a shape as well as letters. So here, instead of having that mask, I could go ahead and release it, delete out my photo, and I could have just a normal fill on my letters, bringing them to the front so that the stroke effect doesn't eat into it. Or if I like the stroke effect, I can bring that to the front with Command or Control Shift right bracket. So I could have letters or a shape be a complete solid and then put a photo in the outline. So this is how you can mask or put a photo in the outline or stroke or border of an object or text. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, for free marketing, branding, and design resources, head over to grrrl.com. That's graphics with PH and S, girl with no I and 3 R's. and I'm here to help you design your brand.